Still to come, horse racing. We look at the big carnivals in Brisbane at Doomben and in Adelaide at Morfordville. America's Cup, it's showdown day. We talk to a man who's won the old mug. Kylie Shadbolt and Monique Allen, two of our gymnasts in Barcelona. Plus all the football, AFL and rugby league. Plenty still coming up on Sportsworld. Hope you can stay with us. Let's go racing now. Keith Hillier's having a week off and we go to Brisbane first up. Wayne Wilson, who's one of Australia's best known and most famous racing commentators, joins us this morning. Good to talk to you again, Wayne.
Hello, Bruce. How are you? I'm
very, very well. You had quite a day there yesterday with the Castlemaine 10,000. A terrific finish with Rough Habit looking the winner in the straight but being pipped out on the line.
Yes, I found it quite amazing that Rough Habit could sprint up and hit the lead as he did in the straight. I didn't think there was a horse anywhere in Australia that could give Rough Habit, say, a length, maybe even a little bit more than that start, with, say, 150 metres to go and run him down, but Barossa Boy did that. Look, it was a marvellous performance by Barossa Boy and a beautiful ride by Chris Muntz. A very intelligent ride by Muntz because he jumped him out of the gates. He got a lovely trail just off the speed and then a real splash of daring in the home straight when he had to go for a needle eye opening. Now, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to have a look at the head-on footage in the straight or not, but there couldn't have been a great deal of room there when Chris first put Barossa Boy's head into that gap, but eventually the gap came. A daring ride by Muntz, and he picked up brilliantly in the last 100 metres of the race to race out after Meg's Ego and Rough Habit and get it in a very tight finish. It was a great race, the 10,000.
Yes, it really lived up to its billing. Now, he's won 19 out of 38, Barossa Boy. What's his program? Is he Stradbroke-wise?
Well, there's a little bit of a problem there because someone forgot to nominate him for the Stradbroke Handicap. But Connection said after the win yesterday, well, he's earned $400,000 or near enough to that in prize money yesterday. They're entitled to spend the 25 large to get him into the big race. They're not going to worry about the QTC Cup because Scalacci's likely to stay in Brisbane for that after he was scratched from the 10,000 yesterday. So they said, well, we'll let Scalacci have the QTC Cup. We'll go for the Stradbroke Handicap, and Connections will pay the $25,000 late entry fee to get him into the Stradbroke Handicap. Bruce, there was an interesting comment made by Connections yesterday after the 10,000 that Barossa Boy had finished second in his previous 4 Group 1 races, and a lot of people doubted whether he had the courage or the determination to win a Group 1 race. Well, he deserved the win yesterday. He got it, and he showed great determination at the end to cut down Rough Habit and Meg's Ego to win it.
He sure did. Let's go to your call, Wayne, of a terrific finish, the Castlemaine 10,000.
By gee, this is a big battle as they come down the side. Magic Dealer's just in front. While Overnighter's having a crack at him on the outside. Bound to Players moved up, and so is Sonic Express. 4 of them stretched across the track as they run to the corner. Barossa Boy is a length and a half away, 5th, followed by Gilded Queen. Rough Habit starting to go forward now. He's midfield about 4 deep as they straighten up. 400 metres to go in the 10,000. Bound to Play loomed up on the outside of Sonic Express. While Overnighter's still there, Gilded Queen. Rough Habit hooked to the extreme outside. Kinjitay's not getting a lot of room. Friends Venture and now Barossa Boy. Barossa Boy is bursting through, but look at the Kiwi go. Rough Habit, the king of the Kiwis. He's loomed up on the outside to hit the lead. Barossa Boy is chasing him now. Barossa Boy grabbed Rough Habit. They hit it, and Barossa Boy's got up to win the 10,000. He beat Rough Habit. Meg's Ego 3rd.
Yes, a very good call there, Wayne. What's happening with Rough Habit? There's some thought that he might run tomorrow on the Gold Coast in the Hollandale Cup.
Yes, well, he's in a $100,000 race at the coast tomorrow. It's raining here in Brisbane at the moment, Bruce, and conditions are going to suit him. Now, provided he does well, he will take his place in the field. John Wheeler's 99% certain that he'll take on the Hollandale Cup tomorrow at the Gold Coast, and then after that, well, it's a little bit up in the air whether he'll try and bring him back to the 1,400 metres of the Stradbroke, a program that he followed last year. He brought him back from the Hollandale Cup to the 1,400 of the Stradbroke and bowled it in, or whether he'll redirect his program towards the Doomben Cup. So it's just a little bit up in the air until after tomorrow, but it's likely that he'll run in the Hollandale Cup at the coast tomorrow.
And just briefly, will Clan O'Sullivan run tomorrow in the Magic Millions, depending on, I mean, does the weather make any difference to him?
No, well, he won the Ballina bracelet leading up to the initial Magic Millions back in January on a very heavy track at Ballina, so he's quite at home on rain-affected going. There have been some rumours flying about in Brisbane over the last 3 or 4 days that everything is not 100% with Clan O'Sullivan, but Frank Cleary, his trainer, has said that there's nothing amiss with the horse, and he said, you just wait and you see him go on Monday. He'll win the Magic Millions Australasian Classic at the coast just as easily as he won the Magic Millions back in January. He thinks he's a certainty for the race.
OK, Pago's King heavily back to win the Doomben Classic yesterday.
Ripped a fortune from bookmakers here in Brisbane. They freely bet 25 to 1, but punters from the west pummeled the bookmakers into the ground, and he shortened into run 8 to 1. Didn't like his chances on the home turn. He was deep and he was struggling. He showed great determination at the end to get them down. Fulmar and Faustiesta were having a great battle. There's Chris Muntz again on a 33-to-1 outsider in Faustiesta. Oh, gee, he's riding in great form. But Pago's King lunged at them the last little bit and got his nose in front where it counted, right on the line, and got the judge's nod.
Wayne, let's have a look and see how he just did it in the Doomben Classic.
Captain Cook races onto the home turn by a half-length on Swift Galaxy. Overwhelmed, continuing with that burst. He's about 4 deep, but he's sweeping up towards the leaders. Captain Cook in front. They head for home. He leads by a length on Fulmar. Lady Nikolai Faustiesta. Overwhelmed under a bit of pressure on the outside now. Faustiesta getting clear, coming after Fulmar and Captain Cook. They've got 150 metres to go. It's Fulmar just in front of Faustiesta. Muntz is driving him hard. Pago's King is rocketing home on the outside. Fulmar's kicking again. This is going to be a beauty. They hit it. Oh, it's close. 4 of them hitting the line locked together. Fulmar, Pago's King, I think they're the 2 most prominent.
And what about the favourite, Pago's King, getting it, Wayne? What about the favourite they're running last?
Yes, well, he pulled up sore after the race. Gavin Duffy said he just wouldn't stretch out. That's My Wandering Star. He said he wouldn't stretch out in the early stages of the race, so the Stipes jumped on him as soon as he came back into the enclosure, ordered a veterinary examination of the horse, and he was sore in both the forelegs. So I guess the rest of his campaign during our carnival here is now in doubt. But he went very disappointingly, but that's the reason why, Bruce. There were a couple of good runs in that race. Zinders, Shane Dice had a certainty beaten. I thought Dutch Boy's run was particularly good. And the New Zealander Captain Cook, they say he's the Vo Rogue of New Zealand racing. He led them up, weakened at the end, but wasn't suited with the rain-affected track. So watch for him in races like the Grand Prix and the Derby.
OK, let's hope that the rain stays away for those races. Let's now go to the Chairman's Handicap. A good performance here by an improving horse, Full Suit.
Cool Credit's giving them a long start as they approach the home turn. They've got 450 metres to go. Corndale in front of Magnolia Hall. Corndale heads for home, a half-length in front of Magnolia Hall. Full Suit pulled to the outside, chasing those leaders. Then Fleet Dancer, Prince Regent, and Demerit on the extreme outside. Magnolia Hall coming after Corndale, and Full Suit is now coming at the pair of them. Full Suit loomed up on the outside and ran to the front, and he shot away. He's got them beaten, Full Suit. Full Suit nicely clear. Fleet Dancer charging home at the end, but Full Suit's too good, wins at a length and a half. Fleet Dancer second, third Corndale.
Wayne, we're about to go to Adelaide, so we're running out of time, but just very briefly, the potential of this horse?
Yes, he's very promising. They were initially looking at the Brisbane Cup. They've now decided to go for the Doomben Cup because he races so well at the track, Bruce.
Wayne, talk to you next week. Great catching up with you today, and thanks for that.
Thank you, Bruce.
Wayne Wilson in Brisbane. Let's now go to John Casey in Adelaide because there was a very big meeting there yesterday. Good morning, John. How are you?
Great, thanks, Bruce. How are you?
I'm very well. Hugh Clays yesterday got out to terrific odds in the Goodwood Handicap, 10-1. He's got a marvellous record in Adelaide, having won 2 races last year and maintained his unbeaten run. It was an impressive performance.
Extraordinary, actually, Bruce. Just talking about the odds, the bookmakers aren't generally generous people, but 10-1 about a horse who last started odds on to beat Scalacci. To me, it was just too good not to take up, and I'm afraid I did get on you, Clays. I thought it was a tremendous performance. He got to the lead inside the first furlong, and they never saw him after that. He ran 1:11, which on the track, which was rated slow yesterday, was extraordinary for me. They both the mile races here in Adelaide yesterday were run in 1:42. So for Hugh Clays to come out and run 1:11 over the 1,200 metres of the Goodwood was certainly a great performance.
Yeah, there's been some doubt about him in Group 1 company at over 1,200 metres. He's a very, very fast horse. Let's go and have a look at the run, John, and we might talk about Dapper's Hope in second placing because he may line up tomorrow in the Angus Brute. So here's the Goodwood Handicap of 1992.
There's a real crowding. Cogitate just off the main body, and then came Scornsome going deep. Further back, Milady's Duel with Star On, followed by Street Ruffian, who's made up a lot of ground. Solemn Oath, Beau George and Cheval Cavalier getting up on their inside, and 4 or 5 Arc Regal, but Hugh Clays at the 600 dashed away, 2 in front and is going deliberately deep. Dapper's Hope nearer its insiders after it, then Zephyrat Bar Flyer. Over on the inside, Cogitate, Scornsome the rail, wider out on the track, wrap around, and they were followed by Pug for Me, Street Ruffian, T Habit, Dapper's Hope after Hugh Clays in the running at the 200. They're clear of Cogitate working home the inside. It's Dapper's Hope coming out after Hugh Clays, but I'll tell you something, the top weight is finding heaps. Hugh Clays is racing away from them. Jeff and Beryl White, will they celebrate at the Hyatt Regency tonight, thank you. Hugh Clays has bolted him with a Goodwood, 3 lengths to Dapper's Hope, third Cogitate.
Yes, he was really very, very impressive. John, he's likely now to go to Brisbane for the Stradbroke, and on that run he's going to take some tossing. He was a bit disappointing in Brisbane last year.
He was a little bit disappointing last year. He ran sixth in the Stradbroke after leading until the final furlong. Plans at this stage are up in the air. He was booked to be floated back to Sydney on Tuesday, but Jack Denham has said now that he'll revise those plans. He may go to Brisbane. The weather, of course, is going to play a big part in that because he's still not certain that he is any good in the wet, although in that performance, gee, he'd be hard to beat. He
would, and Ken Russell riding him as he did in Adelaide. Mick Dittman had the ride on the horse during the Autumn Carnival. What about the runner-up Dapper's Hope, who's very, very impressive? I saw him win a race at Moonee Valley, the Stanley Wootton, about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and he won in Adelaide last week with a big weight. Is he going to run tomorrow in the Angus Brew?
At this stage he will, Bruce, and on that performance he will be hard to beat, just running through that form with Hugh Clays. But Peter Hutchinson got off the horse yesterday, and also Colin Alderson, the trainer, said that unfortunately they ran into a better horse on the day, but certainly Dapper's Hope has got a big future.
Now, what about the South Australian Oaks? There are 2 Oaks run in Adelaide during the year. One's the Australasian Oaks in January, which is considered slightly more prestigious than the South Australian Oaks, but it was a good lineup yesterday. And the form worked out pretty well, John, because the winner had beaten Sub-Zero a couple of starts earlier, Ramyar, and Sub-Zero had won the Derby, and he's one of the big chances in the Adelaide Cup.
Yes, that's right, Bruce. It was a very even affair yesterday, and Ramyar, he's trained at Flemington by Gerald Ryan. What a purchase he's been for his owners. He was, she was picked up for only $400. Rich Fantasy, the mare, was in foal to Ramyar when she was purchased, so that's turned out to be a great money spinner. She's now won $160,000 in prize money, and on yesterday's performance, certainly more wins in store.
Gee, John, it is a good story, isn't it? Turning $400 into $160,000. Let's see Ramyar winning the South Australian Oaks.
At the 600, Aura, by a length, Diamond Bases, Flat Chat. India's Dream runs on out of the pack, and so does Regal Sea. And taking the shortcut is Talato True. Saturday's winner, Talato True, swept through nearer the inside to go after Aura. Ramyar in third spot, then Regal Sea, then India's Dream Flat. They were followed out wider by Viva La Fun. Aura the leader, Ramyar comes out at Talato True was next, and down the outside, Viva La Fun and Regal Sea run on. It's Ramyar in front. Viva La Fun is cutting it down, and then Regal Sea, Ramyar still the leader. Viva La Fun on the outside is coming very hard, but Ramyar in front in a slugging go, and it sizzles to the line. Ramyar wins the South Australia Sizzler Oaks by 3/4 and got there nicely from Viva La Fun Aura.
Craig Dinn, the winning jockey. John, any excuses for the Bart Cummings-trained India's Dream? She seems to have been a bit disappointing.
Yes, I'd be inclined to agree with that, Bruce. I really, on that run, couldn't find anything to suggest that, you know, I thought she had a chance to win that race, and unfortunately, she wasn't good enough.
What about Kingston Spirit, who won the Size Produce for Bart Cummings, the 2-year-old filly? Was she impressive yesterday? She started 14 to 10 or 11 to 8 favourite.
Yeah, I thought so, Bruce. To me, the race didn't actually stand up as one of the better races on the program when you consider that it is quite a very good race here in South Australia. The form of some of the runners wasn't that good, but I thought that, you know, that the performance wasn't all that good.
OK, let's have a look at the Size Produce. Probably a low-key year, but she does look pretty promising. 2 seconds in Victoria before this win at Group 2 level.
Welsh Choir led at the 600 and races down the corner by about a length in front of Canopy. There's room there for Spirit of Kingston, or Kingston Spirit, and over on the inside, Just a Comedy's coming to it very quickly, and Doekeeper's joining in. Ridden up on the inside, Take the Stage, but into the straight, Canopy went through in the centre. Joins the other one on the outside, and that's Welsh Choir. Back in behind those, Kingston Spirit trying to get to them. Still there is Doekeep, Just a Comedy, and wider out on the track was Scarlet Intent. Welsh Choir the leader, but here comes the filly now, Kingston Spirit. Greg Charles said, go, girlie. Kingston Spirit raced to the lead. Doekeeper's coming after her. She's drifting towards the outside, but she's clear the favourite. Kingston Spirit won it by a length or a length and a quarter to Doekeep. Third man, Rebo. A patchy race it ran, but...
Well, raced in the same interest as Reva Diva, the Blue Diamond winner, so the Haynes family have something to work on in the spring. John, we've got the Adelaide Cup market for tomorrow. London Bridge and Runaway Groom are the equal favourites in front of Sub-Zero. What are your thoughts here? It's 28 to 10. That's 11 to 4 in Victoria and other states, New South Wales, Queensland. London Bridge Runaway Groom with Sub-Zero at 5 to 1.
Well, I was able to get to a couple of informed sources yesterday and have a chat about the Adelaide Cup. The people I'm talking about are Bart Cummings and John Letts, who of course has a great record here in Adelaide, but they both seem to think that London Bridge was the one to beat. Under the weight for age scale, he comes in fairly well. He's 4.5 kilograms underweight for age in the race, London Bridge, and Bart seems to think that he'll have the edge on the 3-year-olds. Sub-Zero, who won the Derby here, is only half a kilogram underweight for age, and Dark Czar is 1.5 under, which makes it a little bit better for him. But Bart is very keen. He thinks London Bridge can win. So does Johnny Letts. Lee Freedman, though, still thinks Sub-Zero can win the Derby and the Adelaide Cup double. It should be a great race. The West End Stakes, the traditional lead-up to the event, was held last week, and it was a fantastic finish. The top 4 all within a length of one another. Runaway Groom won that race. London Bridge was 3rd. So it should be... I expect that the finish is going to be very tight again, but I have a leaning toward London Bridge. OK, we'll check to see what sort of a judge you are, and we'll have a wrap of the Adelaide Cup next week. Thanks for that, John. Thanks very much, Bruce. Just before we go, it might be worth mentioning here, the news is that Bart Cummings has nominated Let's Elope for the Arc de Triomphe in Paris on October the 4th. He's in Adelaide at the moment, just spelling after that injury, but he's been nominated for the Arc de Triomphe. She hasn't, so that'll be interesting to see if she actually goes. You've always been able to tell the difference between a boy and a girl, Case, don't worry. I know. Thanks, John. No problems. Well, that's big news. She's injured at the moment, but would be something if she could go to Longchamp for that race. We take a break and we talk to Larry Scott after this, the man from the ATP, the new man in Australia.